get started, I'd like to welcome you to the session AI for Car Rental, a participatory seminar. I'm moderator Martin Ramju. I am the Fleet Group content managing editor at Bobbit, where I'm also editor of Auto Rental News and an electric vehicle website called Charged Fleet. So this seminar will explore the potential for AI and how it can transform car rental, with an active demonstration on how it can work with customer service. We will see how a chatbot applies AI to common situations while freeing up customer service reps to focus on more complex situations. Leading our session today is, I'll just use his first name, Wheelsys, and he is from Wheelsys car rental system in Athens. So welcome, and tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get started.
I'm the managing director of Wheelsys. We are 20 years in the mobility industry, and we've always looking, what's the next day for our customers, operators worldwide. And we've seen that one of the challenges an operator will have in the next few years is adopting AI, okay? And we started doing active research on learning how AI works and how we can put it into practice, how it can be cost effective and all of that. And I'm here to talk about our first launch, which is the customer service area.
Okay. Midway through this session, we're going to start a 15-minute loop, which is the AI demonstration. Wheelsys will talk to some of what's going on the screen, but just to start off, let's just hit the basics here. Tell us in a few minutes exactly how artificial intelligence works.
Okay, so to give it to you easily and in non-technical terms, artificial intelligence is about guessing the next word in a sentence. For example, Martin, are you a dog or a cat lover? What do you prefer?
Dog.
Dog. Okay, so let's take, for example, the sentence which says, the dog was sitting, okay? This part. Now, the possibilities of completing this sentence are endless. The dog was sitting on the couch, on the table, on the dining room, on the bed. Now, if I would say, Martin was looking for his dog all over the house, and finally he went to the garden, the dog was sitting. Now, the context of where the dog is not endless, it's much fewer, so all this is variables, what they call, or parameters. So the dog was sitting, the parameter is dog and sitting. Then there is Martin, then there is went outdoor. So the more you get into the context, the system is able to narrow down what's coming next. And how does it know, how does the computer know actually where a dog can be? It's based on the thousands of books and material it's been loaded into it. So it will not imagine stuff, it will not make things out of their own. These things are into books. So there are books or documents or articles on dogs, and so the computer can quickly dive into those. It's like when you go into Google or any search engine and you start typing, and you see now it gives you options on the right. So the more you type in, it narrows these options. This is AI actually.
So when we hear AI, it's often used in the same sentence as ChatGPT, and I think we've all had some experience with that. Tell us about some of the differences between AI and ChatGPT and how they relate to each other.
So, as I said, AI is about understanding and predicting the next word in a sentence now. What ChatGPT did when they launched in 2022 was that they created a very good model which understands natural language, so like a human being would talk to it or type to it, and it would be able to identify correctly these parameters. That was the first success. And the second one was that these guys loaded massive amount of data into the solution. So when it launched in 2022, it knew how to do thousands of things, okay, already from day one. Now, on every day, somebody interacted with a chatbot, ChatGPT, let's say, for example. ChatGPT keeps learning more and more and more and more. So it's self-improving, and now, 1.5 years later with ChatGPT, it has become an extremely powerful tool, and it's powering lots of solutions in different areas.
Now, in terms of how you're using AI in your particular solution, is this something that is built on top of ChatGPT, or is it on a similar platform?
All right, so as we said, ChatGPT is two things. It's understanding language, natural language, and all the material it has loaded. Okay, now, when you offer a service, like for example, an operator in this room wants to do this customer service solution, if they go on top of ChatGPT, they have an increased cost. Why? Because actually, you're paying for all this knowledge that ChatGPT has, which you don't need it. You know, you're doing current customer service. You're not going to answer a question who won World War I, so you don't need this kind of material. So what we did is that we're using the language model of ChatGPT, actually, it's powerful solution, but without all this knowledge, let's say, this library of content, and as such, as we're hosting it on our own, let's say, infrastructure, it comes much more cost effectively, so a very small operator can afford this.
So what does an operator need to do when using a solution like this? Well, how is it onboarded? How does it integrate into the operations?
Okay, so in order for ChatGPT or any AI solution to be able to support an operator, it needs content generated by the operator and loaded into the AI platform. It can be something simple like scan my website, load my rental terms and conditions, some frequently asked questions. So this is the part. We have another part which is material, which is general material about the car rental, which we are loading over chatbot, so it understands what's loss, damage, waiver, what's a claim, what's a rental duration, and all this. So the chatbot is trained to do car rental, okay? So the operator needs to spend time with our team or anyone else that they're going to choose in the future to launch AI and spend time on loading material. The more material you put inside, the more ChatGPT or any bot will be able to predict, understand, and answer more accurately, let's say.
Now, I know you're focused on customer service, but what are the range of tasks and functions that AI can perform, particularly in a rental fleet business, either now and also looking ahead?
Okay. Well, already you're using every day, for example, pricing. There are people in this room that have done AI on to help you sell at a better price or optimize your pricing. There are solutions about productivity, like Copilot, which you may be using on your everyday to be more productive. There is all these self-driving cars, which try using intelligence to make sure that the car drives in a safe way, with sensors and stuff like that. Customer service, which is our focus. And then in the future, I think there's going to be more AI going into all sides of this, of a car rental operation. Mainly, for example, tell me what cars to buy, you know, and the system can scan your performance and tell you this is what you should buy, for example, or risk management, or customer profiling, or personalized service. So you talk to the chatbot, and chatbot knows it's Martin, knows what he reads, knows his preferences. So he said, "Hi Martin, welcome back." Just like a person would speak to you over the phone, you know. But it's going to be on every single area you can think of.
Now, when looking at customer service, you were mentioning that there's a 20% set of tasks that AI cannot be used for. How does that exactly break down? What are some of the typical customer service functions it can do well, and what still needs to be left to the human specialist?
Okay, so the bot can work very well in a good 80% of the customer service inquiries. We spoke to operators and we asked them, what questions are you getting, you know? And so we started working in getting each one of these answered, okay? So if we say that there is pre-rental, during the rental, and after the rental, the system can do very well all the pre-rental questions. And actually what we've done is we evolved this chatbot where you can say, "Hi, I want a car for next week." And you can start this conversation with the chatbot asking you, do you drive a manual car, and where are you, want to pick up the car? He says, "I want to pick it up in Vegas, and do you have a flight number?" And based on the flight number, identify what time you're coming in, account for if it's an international flight, give it a 2-hour delay, you know, and then give you recommendations, pricing based on what you say, right? Without going to the traditional booking engine, which I'm sure everybody have seen and used in the past. So talking to the chatbot can also recommend stuff, what we call upselling in the process, and finalize the booking process. Accordingly, it can give information about the license requirements, more specific questions, where is the station, my plane is running late, you know, simple questions before picking up the car. During the rental, you can have solutions like, I want to extend the rental, and the bot can take you through the extension process, you know. This is the price for 2 extra days, and do you want to do it? And then it can send you a text message just to confirm it's you, like a one-time password, you know. You plug it in and your card is charged, and that's it. And most importantly, where it's the trouble is after the rental, okay? Now that's where the problem is. Now, there are inquiries after the rental, but that's really easy. I need an invoice, or I need a copy of my rental agreement, or I got a charge on my statement, and can you tell me what that's about? And the system can identify the charge, can identify what's it about, and explain it to it in a friendly way. The problem starts when the customer service inquiry starts, and I spoke to this guy who said that, and then I talked to the call center who said something else, and then, you know, and the discussion is, you know, a mile long, and then it's hard to figure it out. You need someone to actually to interpret it. Of course, as this evolves, because this is a 2 years thing, I don't know, ChatGPT, less than 2 years. I'm sure that all these, let's say, problems will be solved. But currently, getting your customer service team to focus on 2 things. One is this 20% of tough cases, which we always postpone because we focus on the easy ones to get them off. So you focus on the 20%, plus you focus on what we say coaching your AI bot, seeing what answers it gives, and improve it. And so our team trains the operator to train the chatbot. So they can do it by themselves. They don't need us to be behind. And of course, our team is able to help, to provide guidance and coaching, but the operator will be able to do it on his own.
Now, how would that break down on a day-to-day basis in terms of finding more efficiency in an operation? Is it a matter of having fewer customer service reps and the AI does the rest, or does it make more sense to have them trained to do some other things?
I was reading an article on the Forbes, and it was saying that approximately 2.9 million jobs in customer service will be out within the next 5 years as AI catches up. However, another 3-point-something million new jobs will be created exactly for those people. So think about it like what happened in the Industrial Revolution, okay, in the 90s. So we had people, 100 people gathering cotton from the field, and suddenly the tractor is invented, and there's only one driver there, and all these 100 people were replaced. We didn't need them. However, we ended up having body shops for tractors, we had the dealership for tractors, rental companies renting tractors. So nowhere in this, let's say, modern world did people actually lose jobs because of technology. They just changed what they did do, you know. They said computers will put everyone out of business. They didn't actually. Nobody got out of business. More jobs were created, and the same with AI. So AI is a tool, just like the computer you have now in front of you, all of you, and it's just going to make the jobs more creative. I mean, people are going to do much more interesting stuff. Still, from the customer service perspective, from our perspective, from dealing with an AI bot, you know. So it's not that it's going to kill an industry or it's going to kill a market. But for especially customer service is the #1 area that's going to be fully AI, they say, in the next 5 years.
Okay. I want to know if our team can start the video so we can kind of walk through that. He went ahead and recorded it. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about what's at work here?
So what we did is we had a chatbot, and this chatbot now is I don't know how much visible it is. You can see, you know, it's a bit dark, but this is a 15-minute video where we're actually talking with the chatbot, asking different questions like, where can I get my car, and everyday questions operators receive. Now, the thing that you don't understand is that if you are based on ChatGPT, and I mean the enterprise model, ChatGPT is being actively researched, and it changes on a weekly basis its behavior, making it kind of risk because you don't know if tomorrow it's going to be working. And it happened many times during development. You see the thing stopped working and you see what's going on. People were scratching their head. Now, what we have done is that we are installing on our own infrastructure. We don't need all this material that the AI bot is doing, and it's just that we connected this also to our backend to be able to exchange information, identify the customer, and do something like that. You know, more customer service issues. So this video shows quite some questions you are guys getting daily basis.
Amen. One of the things I'm curious about is when you look at the where it's been deployed so far among the different rental companies. What are you finding are the savings or the efficiencies that they're realizing? Is there a way to quantify that? Do they have fewer labor costs? Do they save time that leads to saving money? What are some examples or some case studies that point to that?
Well, traditionally a small to medium operator, first of all, we rarely have a 24/7 call center or a team answering customer inquiries in real time. Usually this comes in the form of an email, and so if they need to contact the location, it takes more time, like that. Now this is not in production yet. It's going to be in production I think in the next 30 to 60 days. We're going to be fully live, and with operators, I mean, having it on the website. I think that the fact that this 80% of your time now is free, and you can do other things, and it's actually not free because you just launched the bot on your website. It's because you're doing a great job answering these questions. I mean, we've been monitoring it, And as we are testing with operators, piloting left and right, we are also seeing the chats, to see for something strange or something off or improve the behavior. And we see it's actually working well, and it's working much better because it's on its own ecosystem than if you plug it on the general ChatGPT. Guys, don't ever do that mistake. You contact your customer service and you say, hi, can I rent a car with, a Greek driver license? And it may tell you, it read your terms, oh no, we don't do Greek driver license. But our competitor next door does, you don't go there. Because ChatGPT doesn't understand what she's replying, it's damaging you actually. So it has to work on a closed ecosystem, and the more operators on board, the smarter the bot is getting every day.
Neat. So as we're looking at this scroll, what would you say are some of the most complex questions that AI can handle at this point for a rental operation?
Well, some of them were the reservation process was hard, because the reservation process, you don't know, it's not a booking engine on the website where you say pick up date and location. You don't know how the person chatting will want to make the booking. So he may start with what's your cheapest car, but you don't have enough information to reply because you don't know where he wants the car and when. So the more the discussion continues, let's say, and is narrowed, then you are able actually to show the photos of the cars and the models and talk about each car actually. So when the guy says, okay, but will it fit my luggage? The bot knows to ask, what are you carrying? Say, okay, I'm carrying 3 large bags, 2 handbags, and it can filter out the cars. Or do you drive manual? He said no, so it filters out to get only the automatic. And maybe you say I want an electric car, or I want a luxury car, So this was a more complex because it was a multi-stage back and forth communication. And of course the system needed to remember what was answered on the previous question and the previous question, and so to complete the process.
Wanted to get back to ChatGPT. What can the rental car industry be doing collectively to feed information or expand the range of information for ChatGPT? How exactly does that work? What should they be feeding into the system, or what should they be asking?
Okay, so ChatGPT can operate in 2 phases. One is what we call the customer facing, where it's a bot like this one. You put it on your website and you just chat. Or back office wise, where you are, the ChatGPT or any bot is helping you formulate responses, quickly access information, kind of if you have used the Microsoft Copilot or all these tools that are now available, same story, only helping you, in the specific area of our industry, which is we're doing specific stuff. So, I think that once you have done this, you need to load material, okay? So loading material is about giving information to the system. So every document you give to the system is more quality on the responses. You can start simply loading your terms and conditions, But as you coach it and as you see how the bot replies to your customers, then you understand that you need to provide more and more content, let's say, which is easy. You load it just once, and you make the thing smarter and more productive. Okay, so the operator should only focus on reading the responses and improving the. And of course, the more operators on board the platform, the better it gets collectively faster.
So for those car rental operations that want to seriously pursue AI or they want to get started in it, what are some of the first steps that they should be looking at?
Okay, so the way we are onboarding a customer is, first of all, they need to have someone responsible for this AI part, okay? Customer service AI. Usually it's the head of customer service, more experienced person. So we work with him, try to understand from his perspective, what are the inquiries he's getting, what are the challenges. So it's not just take it and good luck. So we try to see where the problem is. So for example, a rental operator doing many insurance replacement rentals will have different challenges than a leisure operator. It's a different model, you know, a B2B operator serving corporate customers as a majority is different challenges because we're speaking to a company, we're not speaking, you know, to Vasilis who came to Vegas and just wants a car. So we need to understand the business model, we need to understand what are the majority of customer inquiries they're getting, so that maybe we also need to adjust the connection between the bot and the system, or guide the customer to load material and make sure the material is relevant. We just don't load anything we find in front of us. Load material that will actually make sense, you know. And we do these reviews together in the beginning. So we say, okay, this is the first day, this is the chat we had. Do you agree? Oh yeah, maybe we can improve this answer. And we show him how he can make the bot improve this answer by loading the relevant, let's say, content.
Okay. What are also some examples of other back office applications or functions where AI can be helpful beyond customer service?
Okay, one of the things we worked about is the corporate part. So when you have a corporate customer, there are some interactions that will happen. I need an account statement, I need an invoice, I need my billing for accounting, I didn't receive the invoice, or I want to pay for this, or what was this charge, you know, or even book for one of the employees there. So this is an area, and speaking to customers that do a lot of B2B rentals, we saw that it could really facilitate this interaction, okay? And this is not only, it doesn't have to be also on the corporate rental side restricted. A company doing insurance replacements, you know, by getting information at what stage insurance, was it approved by the insurance company, especially if you have interfaces, again, you can help the customer, you know. So the customer may say, I want to rent, but my insurance company is gonna pay for it. If you have an online integration with the insurance company, you can get the approval online, saying, yes, you are already approved, or you can explain the flow, you know. It depends on which market segment your business operates. But it's not, you know, switch it on and you're good. It's not, doesn't take months, but a good onboarding takes approximately 30 days, from my experience. Currently.
What is the potential that different AI functions and systems of different companies can talk to each other? I'm thinking of the term API, but especially for those very large global rental operations and for those independents that cooperate with each other, work with each other, how do you foresee that shaking out?
Yeah. First of all, the AI solution we designed it because we think that the rental industry will need it soon, okay, in our operators. Now, sorry, the fact that we also have a system called Wheelsys, and yes, it's integrated day one, but we welcome any system provider, whether it's in-house or one of the fine gentlemen in this room, to say, yes, guys, I want to offer it also to my customers. It's nothing to do with Wheelsys as a rental system. This is a totally different solution. They can integrate this API and say, yeah, from the 50 things you need, I can do all 50, or I want to do 20, and then they launch it, you know? So it's kind of a different process than... and having to be integrated with Wheels. We're not limiting.
So what are the next steps for Wheels, for the progress of the technology? What's coming up?
Currently, we built an AI team in the office because we had to get this knowledge. Didn't wake up one day and became AI experts. With the past 6 months, we've been working full time on this. We had some great success, some even greater failures, but that's the way you learn. So currently, we want to focus on the customer service, make sure that this solution is the best around, that it actually solves problems, it's extremely cost effective, and as we learn, as we get more experience speaking to system providers, to customers, to industry experts, and making it more, let's say, ready to market, ready to launch quicker. I think then we're gonna focus on other areas as well in customer service. There are areas, as I said in the beginning, that are very well served, like pricing, for example. There are people that are expert at it. They've been doing it for many years before we came into AI as Wheelsys. So there is really no reason to reinvent the wheel. But there are other areas like risk management, like fleet optimization, and all this, which is next on the to-do list.
And we obviously hear a lot about telematics. There are continuous advances in that area where more and more data is being gathered from fleet vehicles. How can AI enhance that, integrate with that? What potentials are on the horizon?
Well, first of all, you see they are already being used. I mean, you see all these self-driving cars are using a big portion of telematics to understand where I am, where I'm going, what's the situation around. So telematics, don't think about it just as a mileage, fuel, and GPS coordinates. It's all the telemetry of the car. And when you see these self-driving cars full of sensors and cameras, all this we can say it's a telematic, okay? So self-driving cars have been doing it for some years. Of course, it's experimental. It's not put into production. I mean, yes, there are some cities, I don't know, in LA, if you guys have self-driving cars ridden around. I've seen they have in Seattle, some brands are offering it. I don't know, it hasn't done widespread for some reasons, and I think it's many years ahead. But even the fact that you're driving your car, you're trying to change lane, and because the car believes that you're doing it not on purpose but by accident, but it brings you back on the lane. All this is driven by telematics. It's about telematics, about getting data and external stuff into the computer, so then the computer can have enough information to make the right decision.
What are some of the first areas where you'll be getting most of the data from the Wheelsys on?
Well, as I said, the rental area, where especially the part with damages, and explaining charges, and deposit refunds, where I rented the car, my card is always still blocked, and why did you unblock it, and automate things like that. So it's mostly after the rental, the majority. The other one is easy, and we've seen that we've covered it all, at least what we heard about it. It's not right to say more because there's probably habit of things that don't pop up. I will advance. So it's after the rental is the measure, and I think that the operators in this room may agree that that's the area where customer service is getting picked up with inquiries. And the larger you give the fleet, the larger the customer inquiries.
So this is something that can go to fleets of any size, or is there kind of a shield?
But the idea was that you shouldn't be a large multinational corporation to do this. You could be an operator with 50 cars, and still use this. Just you need time. You just cannot plug it in and forget about it. You need to spend time. So if now younger generations, like my daughter, for example, she uses ChatGPT every day to get homework done, to get references for a presentation or whatever. I think that the newer generations, are more adopt. It's in their mindset now that this is a tool, and it's not like the shock I had the first time when I saw it. I said, start typing and see, oh my God, this works,
Well, we'd like to open this up to audience questions. We have some mics, and Chris has one, so I know we definitely didn't cover everything, so we'd like to hear from you.
Check. Sorry, I know this is probably on, and we just needed to cut it up.
Okay, perfect.
Manuel.
I have a question, Vasilis, regarding I feel that the major interest for this AI, instead of being focused to the customer, might be focused to the staff. Also to onboard the staff, to share procedures, to be able to answer questions. I have the feeling sometimes that the way the people are trained is not super qualitative, and effectively they reproduce sometimes a process they see from their colleagues. They say, do you know what you do? It's because I've been doing it for years. Okay, you should do it. While in fact the AI can give them some orientation, can give them some processes in order to perform better their task on fleet, on customer support, on finance, and etc. What do you think about that? Were you focusing mostly on customer, or could you see also the impact internally to the operational staff?
Wow. In essence, there is no limit where you can put AI into. The thing is, let's say you own a rental business, okay? And you've, exactly these years, you've been doing things a certain way, and you've trained your staff to do things in a certain way. Are you confident that ChatGPT is going to coach them the way you want the business to operate? Because you are the risk taker, you're the entrepreneur. ChatGPT isn't. It's just a tool you have in your hands. So I don't know to what extent you, as the owner of the business, will let ChatGPT decide how to run your business, Imagine tomorrow it says, okay, when the customer comes in, we don't never say hi to the customer. It can be misled. If you read about it, there was 1 year ago, Google Maps were showing a congestion on a highway. Why? Because a guy loaded 100 mobile phones, opened location services, put them on a cart, and started dragging them slowly on the side of a national road. Immediately, Google showed that the 50 cars that passed by, because it was not a crowded time, showing that we were doing 70 and 80 miles an hour, were less than the 99 or 100 phones this guy loaded on the cart. So the AI said, no, this guy is right. Congestion, avoid the national road. The road was empty, actually. So you need verifiability, okay? And this is always the problem with these AI bots, okay? And the focus, if you read about ChatGPT, the problem they have now in their hand is this verifiability. Ensure that the information provided is accurate. And to this extent, you need to be onboarding, a lot of big, massive teams to build this. Maybe, I don't know, I have zero experience in this onboarding area, to be honest. But I'm sure in the future, we're gonna see it, okay? Somebody is gonna spend time and build this and do it.
Thank you.
Hi.
I hope I can ask this question and it comes off the right way, but clearly you're focusing this on chatbot customer service. But if we move this to a more of a collective from the operational standpoint, is it possible that as teams around the world, we could be uploading information as operators regarding utilization, rate management, inventory sort of, residual values, defleeting, time for all of those kind of things. What y'all are working on is something as a product that can be released in the future, or is we still at the stage where we're building something to have something that everybody can take advantage of in the future? In other words, is it possible from an enterprise standpoint, would you encourage to go do it on my own and feed it the information that I want so I can manage it the way it is a co-pilot kind of scenario? Or do you see this as an opportunity as a collector, as we can come together and it becomes, hey, operator, upload this information according to yours so we can teach it how to become better, and as one collective we can create a much better system? Or do you encourage, perhaps as operators, we just do it ourselves?
But first of all, the more operators on board on this, the more collectively we're getting experience. I mean, AI is way much bigger than a rental system, Wheels or whatever, okay? In 50 years, nobody's gonna remember perhaps this, our logo or who I am and what I do, but AI is gonna be there for sure. So we're seeing it as the next step of this market, and I'm sure that the next day will bring more decision helping tools, okay? So what you say is very correct. So imagine that you load all your operational data, and then you ask the AI bot, what should I buy for next year, And the bot saying, not only telling you, you should buy small or electrical vehicle because we see demand, but also connecting you to providers and telling you, based on your credit score and as a business and the financing options you have, it would cost you X dollars if you do it from this guy, from this fleet provider or dealership, and do you want to do it, And you say, yes, I want. Oh, the cars are going to be delivered then. We're going to get to this point, It's just that we have to learn how to do it. We don't know how to do it yet productively. It's not that I came here to speak, that we solved everything. We're discovering things every day. And the more technology companies, and a great share is in this room, uniting this area, we can achieve great things together,
Yes. It seems as if we can work together as a closed system, but focused around rental operations. It seems like we can move it much faster than individually doing it ourselves.
Of course. Two hands is always better than one hand, and 50 hands is always faster. Sorry. With your experience and everybody's experience, if we could, make a workshop or a team and share experience and learn and share our discoveries and our findings, it's evident that it's going to move faster and it's going to be to the best. I mean, in our perspective as Wheelsys, it's not an El Dorado that we found and we want to be the first to cash out. No, on the contrary, we think this is here to stay. In 5 or less years, all the systems providers will have something to do with AI. So instead of everybody discovering the wheel by itself, let's discover it together. I do it faster. It's yours.
I have, just one general statement too, and it's funny how in this new world of AI we still have to manage things like collusion and statements that involve pricing and utilization, and let's kind of steer clear for the room if we could on that. We've got time for another question, but I will say that for folks that want to stick around, we do have a 45-minute break, so this conversation can continue. There's not a session directly after that, but I do want to have one question here, and then the session is going to officially end, but we can certainly continue in this room for those that want to.
Good afternoon, I'm Dave Buckshine, Global Product Manager for DL and Enviro. We manufacture a product you may have seen here, it's called Bodycar. Your industry specifically, and many other industries have tasked us with developing an AI, on-premise based AI solution to look at damage so damage can be subrogated and actually be identified automatic. And you bring up some very good topics, especially in the customer service side. We see what you're bringing up from service. Auto dealers are doing the same thing. They're wanting to do it. They're wanting to use, vision systems, cameras to determine when a customer came in, when they've been greeted, what their body language looks like. Did they have to go to 4 different places? Did they go to the bathroom? Did they get offered coffee by that person that offers coffee? And identifying staff. And all these technologies are not designed to spy on employees. They're designed to engage and empower employees. And that was one of the things that we had to get our arms around. We know from what we're doing in AI that the damage itself and discovering the damage will not be as perfect as the human process, because there is that element of, hey, that was there, that's not there, and the AI was wrong. AI, as good as we think it will be, may never be perfect. I think it's up to everyone in this room to understand its limitations as providers we come together to create a good solution where AI becomes that augmented reality that we bring each of them together. This is our 20th year in business, and we came from some pretty big, I came from Honeywell, our other partners came from Parsons, and to put that product together and to offer this at an affordable price point for the market, I think is what's going to be key, because we want to do more and let our human capital do what we want them to do. That's actually to interface with humans, not interface with problems. I think that you brought up some great topics of service, and I wanted to note that. But on the other side, know that we're trying to do something very tactical, and it's a lot of work. So I don't need to talk about us, but I'm just saying we do appreciate what everyone's trying to bring to the discussion.
Also, I want to ask you one question related to product implementation. As we know, you provide a lot of opportunities for some partners, companies, to start to plug in their products. The question about AI, when do you think AI role will be implemented in this process? Like through the API, we connect some products, it's automated testing, and currently in this process involved the humans. So when do you think there will be the process which will replace the human in applying these changes and testing all that kind of activities?
Well, I was reading an article saying that, and it stuck out to me, because what you say is true actually. You can go into ChatGPT and say, write me a program that does this, and boom, here it is. You take it and it's working, yeah? However, they said that if you think that ChatGPT or any AI tool can replace your programmers, you're just employing not good programmers. So I think that it will never, in essence, replace the programmers, because even ChatGPT is done by programmers, So it will always, it will need human touch. Otherwise, why would an operator need any technology guy? Goes into ChatGPT, I want an application that does this, does that, is blue and green, and I want, it has a button on top, and I click it and it makes coffee, and ChatGPT says, here it is, Are we out of business? On the contrary, of course there are tools, and it's gonna help, and you're gonna be doing more productive stuff, okay? So tedious testing, stuff like that, you can automate it, But human beings will always be behind the wheel in this case.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. It's Christine from Hawaii. I have a question about data privacy, specifically identity theft and fraud that could come from or lead to things like financial loss or some type of data breach that might be state specific or even more global, like GDPR. Can you speak to a little bit about that, or any risks you can see that could affect car rental companies who use ChatGPT?
Well, sorry, you talked about fraud on one side, and also about data breach. When you're making an interaction and you are connecting to a system, okay, you cannot take my word that yes, I'm Vasilis. That's why I mentioned, for example, OTP validation, one-time password. So you need to identify the customer somehow. Just like when you're going, first of all, to the airline, you want to check in online. Yes, give me your confirmation number and your last name, for example. There's always going to be safety controls, okay? And one of the things, actually, that we enjoyed, let's say, when doing ChatGPT was that we asked the system and we said, okay, can you give me my rental agreement? He said, yeah, give me your reservation number or confirmation number, okay? Give me your last name. It contacted the system, it got the PDF, here it is. Then on the next guy, the second person in our office asked the same question, and ChatGPT says, oh, I know about this, and he gave the other rental agreement to the other customer because he had the same file. So all these controls is the reason we've been working 6 months. This is what we've been doing, trying to avoid that the information is disclosed. So we've been very careful, and I think we've been successful on this area, let's say.
All right, unfortunately, we have to wrap it up. I want to thank all of you for coming to this session.